So for this problem, we are taking a look at how to convert between degrees and radians and vice versa. So if I take a quick look at the unit circle, a couple of big relationships we want to know. One is that going all the way around at 360 degrees is equivalent to 2 pi radians. That's a big piece of information, but one that's even a bit more useful then is if that is 2 pi all the way around, that means going only halfway around for 180 degrees would have to be half of that value. So 180 is equal to 1 pi. So as long as we look at that, now I can start thinking about how to start converting between the two. So what I'm going to do is take a look at just an example here of, let's say I want to know what is 3 pi over 4. So if 3 pi over 4 is an angle that I want to take a look at, and that's in radians, I want to convert that to degrees. So what I can do, one of my options here, is to take this 180 and pi are being the same thing, is I can multiply this now by 180 divided by pi. Since 180 and pi are equal to each other, that means what I'm doing is I'm actually multiplying this by just some big giant 1. That equals 1. So I'm actually multiplying this problem by a 1, and I'm not changing the problem, I'm just changing the way it looks in the form it's in. So when I do this now, pi divided by pi makes a giant 1 as well. So now I have 3 times 180 divided by 4. And now I just simplify to 135 degrees. So it does not matter what radian measure you have. Since I want to get rid of the pi in the numerator, I'm going to multiply it by 180 over pi, so those pi's will cancel out. Now another example is if I want to convert from degrees to radians. So I'm going to pick some degree measure. Let's go with, how about 300 degrees? If I went with 300 degrees. Now, my answer, I want to have it in radians. So instead of multiplying by what I did last time, I'm going to use its reciprocal, and I'm going to multiply by pi over 180. Again, pi over 180, they are equivalent, so that's a giant 1. But now when I multiply these, I'm going to get 300 pi divided by 180, and now I can just simplify. So however you need to reduce this, I can tell right away they both end in a 0, which means they both can be reduced by 10. So I'm going to have 30 pi over 18. And then I'm going to further reduce it, knowing that 30 and 18, I can take a 6 out of both of those. So what I'm going to end up getting then is 5 pi over 3. So that is now equivalent to my 300 degrees.